Broadcasting live from...
You mean podcasting, right?
Actually, I kind of like that. Let's do it. Podcasting live
And lit.
from the weed-smoking studios of WSRadio.com. We're only 20 minutes away from 420, and you know what that means. It's time for the wide world of weed. This exclusive podcast was created by the Dream Maker and the real Sammy C and streams weekly, each and every Saturday afternoon, right here on WS Radio. And now, two dudes who will never bogart a joint because they believe in peace, love, equality, staying high and happy. It's your pot jockeys, Green Weaver and Night Tripper. Yeah, you know it. Hello, friends, and welcome to another edition of the Wide World of Weed with your host, Green Weaver, and of course, Night Tripper is going to be hanging out with us for a little while. We might even have some other special surprise guests, but this is going to be one of the most interesting, most unusual episodes of this show ever. As a matter of fact,
Woo, thanks for having me back, Night Tripper. I always feel like a special guest here.
You mean you're Night Tripper?
That's what I mean. I'm so stoned, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
See, that's the problem. The only problem with marijuana is sometimes you get so stoned that you get goofy
and you forget
who you are.
Yeah, that's what, or you forget your fake name.
Especially if you live in a radio world. And we're doing this podcast, by the way. We call it a podcast because we talk about cannabis a lot.
I love it.
And we smoke it sometimes here in the studio, and sometimes, and this is all on video, by the way. Let me move my microphone over so I'm on my YouTube video. By the way, the YouTube channel is known as Wild World of Weed, and that's part of our Wide World of Weed. And we haven't really uploaded a lot of videos yet, but we've made about 200. Can you believe that, Night?
200? Are
I have
you
about
serious?
200 pieces of content.
And each one's like 10 minutes long.
Well, no, they range in length from 2 minutes to 20 minutes, but they average around 10 minutes. I really need to chop them up into like 5-minute episodes or 3-minute episodes, and I'd have 500 episodes.
That would be awesome, man.
An instant channel.
You would have a library of super weed knowledge on that level.
Well, I can't blow in the microphone. I got even though I'm vaping right now on my YouTube channel known as the Wild World of Weed. We are on WSRadio.com, and that, of course, is known as the weed smoking studios of WSRadio.com. Can you imagine having a job where you're actually allowed to smoke weed a little?
I've had that job before.
You have? Well, I never have until now, and I'm happy to have it.
I work at home, see, and I write for a lot of websites. And,
oh, that's smart.
And sometimes it's fun to get high during that period.
Right on.
Helps me write better. In fact, it helps me be more productive.
Of course. Man, you know what? Social Music Talk, that show they just wrapped up.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are tuning in for the Wide World of Weed, and I know there's, you know what?
Be back in 3 minutes.
Okay.
Keep talking, my friend.
I will. As a matter of fact, I'm going to explain what this whole weird episode is going to all be about. And this is going to be super unusual. I am going to consume an entire 500 milligrams of THC, an entire 500 milligrams of THC Rice Krispies treat live on the air here on the Wide World of Weed. And, of course, it's going to take about 3 hours for it to hit me at all. So I'll tape that for my for our YouTube channel known as the Wild World of Weed. But that's going to be this episode, basically. Oh, let me turn your mic back on. Sorry.
Thanks. It's
Night
good to be
stepped
back.
out for a second. What? Might we have some special guests?
Yeah,
possibly?
I was talking with some radio people, some very famous radio people outside the door because they've heard about this place and they want to be part of it. They think that this place is awesome because it's 24 hours. It's like a radio station.
Well, it is a radio station, but better.
But see, there's never been a weed smoking radio station like this till now.
Until now, exactly. And
you know who we have to thank? The Dream Maker.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen without the Dream Maker. And as a matter of fact, we might have him as a special guest one of these days in the near future, whether it's by phone or from his Dream Maker cave. It's kind of like the Bat Cave a little, except
it's another world for sure.
Right.
It takes your mind to a higher level of consciousness.
But it's a cave full of marijuana plants because he grows and harvests and got some good stuff.
Right on.
And we need to learn from the Dream Maker how to make our own marijuana.
That's my dream.
That's
to
the
create
ultimate
my
dream.
own garden.
Right.
I would love that.
And not only a marijuana garden, but why not some herbs of other type? Thyme, Man, thyme is a tasty thing to put on food. And grow your own, you like watermelons. Watermelon's a very healthy fruit.
Very, very healthy.
And easy to grow organically if you dedicate like a nice portion of course, you have to own a home and have a yard, so that kind of puts a few people out of the picture.
We were talking earlier in the year, or late last year, about making a solar cabin, like a community of solar cabins with our friends. Oh, that would be
awesome, right.
For our friends, our musician and show friends.
Like cannabis cool people that love music, that love the environment, that would love to get together. We buy a piece of land. We get about 10 like-minded people or more. The more we get, the bigger we can make our little community.
Have a little pot farm.
Right, have a big pot farm.
And a garden so that we don't have to, rely on the rest of the world for food.
And it can be 100% organic.
Yes.
And we just have to, I guess the only thing we have to worry about is putting it in an area where no one would hassle us.
Yeah.
And have a little minimum security.
Yeah, it needs to be water and some other things. And it just needs to be, not too far in the boonies because we need to be near, services,
right.
Medical.
Even though,
and
medical
that.
Mainly. Because you know what? We'd have such big solar panels on this lot. And we'd all have electric vehicles, and we wouldn't need real vehicles, just golf carts.
That's right, because we wouldn't need to go fast.
We just have one, maybe two cars, two big SUVs for going to downtown San Diego to get some stuff from Costco or from get some furniture from a store because we're going to be in an area probably where there aren't furniture stores. Or we can make our own furniture, but out of hemp.
The point is create a little weed culture and a really cool environmental green conscious culture. And a friendly vibe.
Right. Music, marijuana, environment, equality amongst all members of the community, friendliness, everyone's cool, everyone's chill.
Yeah.
You have to fight to find that in the real world. So why not create it instead?
That's right. So also you're contributing to a better world by doing that.
Right. Dude, this is an awesome idea, and I haven't had a bite of this chocolate thing yet. I shouldn't be eating chocolate, but again, this is a Wow Krispies chocolate thing. Do you want some of it? And you think that our guest might want a little? You know what? I'm going to cut it in half.
Okay.
And then I'm going to start eating the first half.
Okay, but our guest, one of them has to drive back to L.A., so he's not.
So he's not going to be able to.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no problem. I'm just going to...
Anyway, if you wonder where we are, we're on Marijuanamar Road.
That's right.
Marijuanamar Road.
Marijuanamar Road.
Yeah.
Right. And as a matter of fact, we're kind of... in our fantasy warped minds, we're in the Weed of Life... Chronic Church.
Yes.
Broadcasting live from the weed smoking studios of WSRadio.com. By the way, this is a Wow Brownie, and I might as well plug a company. We're not getting paid anything for this, but maybe we'll get sponsors in the near future, and that's kind of our goal. We love a lot of great dispensaries here in San Diego. MedMen's a great one, no doubt about it. SDRC is good, so is Mankind Cooperative. But, the coolest dispensaries are the ones that are kind of on the outskirts a little. And both Knight and I firmly agree that one of the best dispensaries in the entire San Diego area or San Diego County is up in the Valley Center area. Now, there's actually a couple in that area. Outco's not a bad dispensary at all, actually. But they're medical card only. I have a cannabis card, so I can go there if I want. But... the other dispensary I'm talking about, I don't want to mention their name because I want to get permission from the owners and the managers and just make sure that they're cool with it and all that. But I will mention some of the names of the people that are bud tenders there. And they're awesome. As a matter of fact, you know all these bud tenders.
Yeah, I know a lot of
these. Romy.
Yeah, I love Romy.
Yeah, what
nice,
a sweet...
very nice bud tender.
Yeah, they're mostly female bud tenders. There's a couple male bud tenders.
And they rock.
But there's Romy, there's Marty, Willow, there's Natasha, Sam, a female, a really nice lady, and Lala, there's Lee, and a bunch of other great people.
It's like a cool community.
Super chill, which what you'd expect from a good dispensary.
Cool people.
Right. And anyway, that's where they've got great happy hour specials. And again, I'm not going to name the name of the dispensary or any last names, but a few of the names that we just ran through, just want to say hi to them and the great service they offer.
Keep talking.
And the great prizes.
I'm going to go rock for a minute.
All right. I just killed your mic, and you're You're going to get to hear the sound effects of Greene Weaver taking a first bite and eating it live on the air here on WS Radio. Weed snacking radio is what it's going to be right now, because I'm snacking on this weed-infused Rice Krispies treat made by Wow. As a matter of fact, I'm going to hold the label up to the phone camera that I'm videotaping this episode for the YouTube channel, Wild World of Weed. And now a bite of that delicious Rice Krispie treat. It is probably going to be about 10 bites for this half alone. You know what? I don't want to talk with food in my mouth, so give me a couple seconds. You know what? Nice tasting. Good amount of chocolatey taste. Good amount of sweet, sugary taste. And not a lot of dank marijuana taste, but just a little, a hint, but a nice hint. So they did a really nice job on the flavor and the consistency and the feel and the freshness of this. Once again, this is a chocolate-flavored Rice Krispies made by Wow. There's 500 milligrams in the entire thing. I've cut it in half for right now because I'm going to offer this other half to any of the guests that show up in the next half hour or so. And we might have at least one or two. I can have one more bite. A very small one, though. All right. Again, that's a really good tasting. And I'm going to wait for a night to get back and do some talking, so I'm not eating the entire time here on the show, because you don't want to hear a dude just munching on a THC-infused Rice Krispie treat. I mean, it'd be more fun to check it out on YouTube, and this will be uploaded. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to make this the very first video that I upload officially. I've got a couple of videos kind of half uploaded as tests, and haven't really promoted the Wild World of Weed that much yet. But it's time for me to get super serious about that YouTube channel and start uploading all the great videos that Night and I and a couple other folks have put together. And it's a unique look at a cannabis lifestyle for a person like me, and this is important. And I'll probably have to mention this at least 30 seconds on every episode. I'm 56 years old now. First time I ever smoked marijuana, I was 55. It was back in January of 2018, and they finally made it legal. I heard about pot back in the 70s and 80s when I was in high school and college, and always wanted to try it in a weird way, but was always scared to try it because I'd always heard from the people I trusted the most, my parents especially, and then even teachers, and then preachers and PSAs on television and radio, and just no, drugs are bad, and why wouldn't they be bad? They seem bad, and well, most drugs are bad for you. And prescription drugs, in a weird way, might be the worst drug of all. Well, especially Oxycontin and that epidemic that's been haunting America for years now. But, obviously, I'm overweight. You can see that on the YouTube channel, but I've lost 82 pounds in the last 5 months, and I plan on losing I'm going to shoot for about at least another 80 in the next 1 year. And then after that, I'll slowly take off maybe another 10, 20 pounds a year over the next 2-3 years until maybe I'll get back down to my high school weight of 155, 160. And I'm currently at 302 as of today, even after eating this Rice Krispie treat. Now, of course, this Rice Krispie treat, and this is more for people that have never consumed cannabis before, or are maybe really new to it, maybe a month or 2 or 3. But edibles. And the weird thing is, even though I've only been doing this for about 13 and a half, 14 months, I consider myself almost an expert already because I've been taking it very seriously. I keep a diary a lot of times on the amount of cannabis I consume, how I consume it, whether it's through a vaping or through bud, and whether it's through a bong or a joint or a pre-roll or a blunt, which I've never done yet, so I shouldn't really include that. And whether it's through an edible and what kind of edible, and whether it's an indica or a sativa or a hybrid, what brand, how much did I pay for it, where did I get it from, what time did I start my high session, what time did I end my high session, when did the high kick in, when did the high peak, when did the high start fading, when was the high completely gone. And I must be like OCD or some kind of weird guy in that way, because I love keeping all that information, and in a weird way, it's kind of like a little mini scientific experiment or a medical examination, because I'm truly learning and documenting a lot of my pot journeys, and that's kind of the whole purpose of this YouTube video channel known as the Wild World of Weed, and this podcast that we do on WSRadio.com from the Weed Smoking Studios, of course. It's the Wide World of Weed. Now, we're here every Saturday from 4 to 5 in the afternoon, and at 4:20, because you know that's the magic number, of course, in our community, we're going to be doing some type of contest in the very near future. I'm working on putting something together cool where we'll probably give away gift cards from various dispensaries, from the one maybe that I love, that Night Tripper and I go to very often. We go there at least once or twice a week. We go to MedMen at least a couple times a month, and we go to SDRC at least a couple times a month, and we go to Mankind Cooperative at least a couple times a month, and I go to Outco because I have a medical card at least a couple times a month. So basically, we check out all the dispensaries, and we're trying to meet all you great folks in the cannabis community, especially in San Diego. So if you'd like to become part of our little crew and become a fan, then please send an email. You know what? I have a couple different email addresses, but a good one, because I just put it together last night, is wideworldofweed@outlook.com. So that's one you could use anytime. If you want to send me an email to ask me a question or maybe ask me to review something. And in a way, I'm reviewing this 500 milligram brownie, which is actually Rice Krispies, not really a brownie, but I'm going to be doing a review on this because it's going to kick in. It's about 4:15 now. And, of course, as I said on a YouTube episode of the Wild World of Weed, I haven't said it on the show, I got a ride into work today from Night Tripper because I knew I'd be getting super baked, and I didn't want to have to worry about driving. So Night's not going to be able to get high with me either. So I've just realized I'm going to have to consume this entire Rice Krispie treat on my own.
Are you serious?
Yeah, well, dude, if you get high, then who's going to drive?
That's a good question, man.
So no one. So I guess
I've actually told myself never do that again. Never drive and be intoxicated, because once I did get freaking arrested.
But that was for alcohol.
That was for alcohol. But once I was also cited at a concert for smoking a J.
Well, I know you told me about that. So that was the day that they kind of legalized medical marijuana.
Yeah, it was after that election week in November of 1996 when California legalized pot for the first time. It seemed like, because the media was saying pot is now legal, and they were dumb.
So they
wrong
presented it that way, and you believed it, and so you thought, no problem now.
Right, and then the cop is right there freaking knocking on my freaking window, showing me his 2 badges.
On your window of your home?
No, on the car at the station.
Okay.
I mean, at the concert parking lot.
Oh, because you're getting high in the parking lot.
Yeah,
okay.
While the show's going on. And I got there like in the middle of the shows, and nobody else was in the parking lot. It was just cars. And I'm smoking a J, and it's a cold night, and it's really hard to light a J on a really cold night.
Right.
You know, it's really freezing, and I was sparking it, but couldn't get the cherry to go. You know, just no heat going on. And I hear this, and I look to my left, and it's 2 badges. It was actually 2 cops, both undercover. Neither were in freaking uniform.
Right.
And they didn't read me. Well, they didn't have to read me my Miranda lights because they weren't arresting me in the first place. They were just citing me with a yellow ticket like they would if you were a speeding ticket.
Oh, okay. Well, that still sucks.
Anyway, that was 96, and then I had to go through this stupid $2,000 program thing. And
for that citation?
Yeah, it's a brainwashing program to teach you never to do that again. And it did. I never did that again. So it worked.
Yeah, except you still smoke pot.
Yeah,
so,
but I don't.
But now it's legal, and you don't drive.
I don't drive and get high. I don't even have a freaking car because I'm a freaking environmentalist. I just got rid of my car. The stupid 2004 Saturn broke down on me. I was never going to pay for another $500 repair bill on that again. I was just using it because it was supposed to be like a Toyota Camry. That's how they marketed it to me.
Right.
And, Toyota Camry's like the top car you could buy.
Also, the car that you drove us in today, that's Steve's car?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, the long story short, super long story short is I don't like to get high and drive.
Well, that's good. And I don't think I want to do that either because I swear, I don't want to say, I'm going to say this, but this is not a medical claim or not a warrant or not a proclamation or not anything official. I think, I agree with you 100%, you shouldn't drive while high, but I think that if I were to drive while high, that I'd be a decent driver because I'm such a focused person and marijuana makes me even more focused. So I think I'd actually become a better driver than a worse driver, but I'm still not going to do it because it's not legal and it's not worth the risk. It's not worth the risk. If I hurt someone by accident, even if it's not my fault, it's going to suddenly become my fault.
Right.
And it's like you put yourself in a bad position by accident sometimes, so don't do dumb things.
But anyway, I brought my guitar, so I was thinking we could write a pot song this time.
Okay, well, if you're inspired.
Yeah, we've been trying to do this for a while, but we've never really done it with a super out-of-tune guitar yet.
Well, do you want to tune the guitar up? I have a couple
no, I want it to be out-of-tune, so it sounds all warped and weird, man.
That's very creative, man.
There's alternative tunings to standard tuning. So let me grab my guitar.
Okay, man.
And you could talk about whatever, and I'll just play guitar in the background. You can hear that is out of tune, right?
Yeah, I like that. It sounds like, I want to talk about, since you're talking about music a little, I'll mention that show, Social Music Talk. That happens right here on this very same network of WSRadio.com. It happens from 3 to 4 in the afternoon on Saturdays, of course, California time. So join us on WSRadio.com every Saturday from 3 to 4 for Social Music Talk. Stay tuned for The Wide World of Weed from 4 to 5. And I'm going to say this again, even though it might not happen for at least another 2 or 3 months, possibly, but Groove 420 might be coming soon to WSRadio.com. That's all I'm going to say about that. And now, on the topic of music, you know what? I want to talk about American Idol for a second because I used to love that show the first couple of years it was on. Then it got stale and boring and repetitive and cookie cutter and super cookie cutter and more corporatized. And then for 5 years it was awful, and then they tried to save it by bringing in people like Steven Tyler and Harry Connick Jr. and just some
J-Lo and Tyler. They didn't get along, right?
I don't think so.
Didn't that show fall apart, or their thing fall apart, their relationship fall apart as two celebrity buddies, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't care about that show by then.
Yeah, I didn't
because
either.
it just got so stupid.
It's stupid, and it influenced mass extra stupidity.
Right. And I love music, but that kind of, in a weird way, in my mind, hurt music a lot.
Yeah, it did. It made it more funny and stupid and generic and not even cool.
And then The Voice came along, and then for the first year or two, that was kind of a cool concept because these are really talented people singing, and they're only judged on their voice instead of the way they look. And that was a cool concept. But after a couple of years, that got cookie cutter and corporate. And it's been that way for the past 3-4 years with Adam Lambert and Kelly Clarkson and Blake Shelton and all these cookie.
You know a lot more about it than I do.
Well, I know. But that's because I watch TV a little, and you don't watch TV hardly at all. Yeah, because you live in a better world.
Yeah, I live in a smarter, higher consciousness, freaking above the clouds world.
A TV-free world is almost like a stress-free world because TV, one of the biggest things that adds to your life is stress. And one of the greatest things marijuana takes out of your life, if you use it properly, one of the greatest things it reduces is stress. Would you agree with that, Knight?
Yes, it does. That's why I think it's awesome. But you know what? I usually don't have much stress, so that's not why I use it. But I see why it works for people because it just makes you feel good.
Right.
Makes you forget about bad stuff that you made up in your mind in the first place.
But even more importantly for me, it makes me deal with stuff that I was not able to deal with before. Stuff that I forgot about for a couple years. I procrastinated and didn't want to deal with because it's like life is fucking hard, man. Sometimes it's rough. But marijuana can help you deal with it by making things less stressful, less painful, but also motivating you. And for me, marijuana is a huge motivator in my creative departments and in my getting shit done departments. And thank you, hemp gods, for providing such a wonderful substance to us. It's funny, I'm not even close to being high yet because this Rice Krispies treat's not going to kick in for at least 2.5 hours. But I'm going to give you a review on this next week, on next week's episode of The Wide World of Weed. And then, of course, the YouTube channel, Wild World of Weed, is also running. And I'm going to definitely get this video uploaded. Anyway, Knight, what kind of song do you want to write?
Something about weed, something that has a cultural relevance or relevance.
What kind of genre? Like a bluesy kind of song, or like a rock beat, or?
I want it to be kind of natural, so my natural shit is more of a pop folk sound.
So it's just some soft strumming without any intense rhythm.
I
Just
had a pick, but I lost it. But
oh shoot!
This is one of those situations where picks disappear and show up a week later when you don't expect them.
Oh well.
I don't need a pick. I'm like Mark Knopfler. I play with my fingers. But I wanted to use a pick for this particular song. Oh, here it is.
I'll give you a couple seconds. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I could start talking. I was gonna, but I wanted real quick. I didn't wrap up my point about American Idol. That show has become good again, man. They've got.
Oh, you're kidding!
I'm not kidding, man. I love that show now.
Fuck, I don't want to hear about how good it is.
But it is.
I always laugh how bad it is.
No, but this year, man, I'm enjoying. But you know what? It's still, the music isn't like mind blowingly good, but the entertainment value is good again.
Oh well, you mean like the joking between songs?
Kind of like the joking and the backgrounds on the people and the backgrounds on the cities that they come from and their stories. And, some stories are triumphant and some stories are heartbreak. And, looks like we got a break right now. Just when Knight got his guitar tuned up.
I was ready to jam.
But we'll be back with more Wide World of Weed coming up on this channel known as WSRadio.com right after this commercial break. And, of course, we're going to wrap this episode up here on YouTube on the Wild World of Weed also. But come back for more right here.
Can you imagine a world without children? A world without their smiles or their laughter? A world where children don't play or sing or dream or imagine.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we can't imagine a world without children. That's why we're working every day to find cures for diseases that strike down children everywhere. Diseases like cancer, pediatric AIDS, and sickle cell. And we won't stop until every child is cured and every disease is defeated. Because we can't imagine a world without children. Can you?
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. To learn how you can help, log on to our website, stjude.org.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
You take your smartphone almost everywhere you go. Now WSRadio.com can be there too. Search WS Radio in the Play Store for your Android devices or iTunes for Apple and download the WS Radio application. WSRadio.com on your phone and in your ear everywhere you go. Download the WS Radio application. Do it now. It's very easy. WSRadio.com.
You were born to do one amazing thing, but most people spend a lifetime trying to identify what it is. If you're in a job you don't like or are unemployed, if you're in a state of transition or just can't shake that nagging feeling that you were meant and made to do something extraordinary, then the Reinvention Workshop is exactly what you need. Led by award-winning self-help author Steve Olsher, the Reinvention Workshop will forever change your life. The Reinvention Workshop takes you step by step through Steve's proven formula that has helped so many people get on the right path and clear about what they were born to do. Take the first step to realizing the life you deserve and desire by visiting thereinventionworkshop.com today. No more delays. No more denial. Reconnect with your true self. Learn to live with purpose and conviction and become who you were born to be. The world is waiting for you. What are you waiting for? Log on to thereinventionworkshop.com today. That's thereinventionworkshop.com.
Oh yeah, pot buddies. Have another hit of sweet air as the wide world of weed continues with your pot jockeys, Green Weaver and Night Tripper on WSRadio.com. All right. Still eating that delicious Rice Krispie treat. I'm going to go through all 500 milligrams, and I'm going to review this next week. And this is probably, believe it or not, 500 milligrams is a lot. I'm sorry, 5 mgs milligrams. Is that what MG stands for?
That's right.
Well, let me turn your mic on.
Yeah. Thanks for turning my mic on.
Again, I thought you're on the yellow mic, but I see yellow on the mic, but it's not.
It's funny. It's so weird of an experience when you're talking and you know you're talking, but you know that nothing you're saying is going out over the freaking
I know,
radio.
It is weird. It's freaky. It's like your ears are broken.
It's almost like not talking, but you are talking.
Right.
It's a fun, trippy experience.
Yeah.
Though.
Hey, we're going to have a lot of fun on this next segment here on the Wide World of Weed. We're going to do some music stuff with Night Tripper and me. But before we get into that, I do want to talk about the importance of chasing a high versus enjoying a high. And that has been my problem now for the past month. And do you know what I mean by that, Night?
Yes, when you think that, you're not high, even though you smoked 10 hits already, and so you keep on getting high, yet you're not high, and you're thinking, I got to get high, so I'm going to keep on getting, keep on taking tokes, and then, I don't know, that doesn't
That's
work.
exactly right.
Doesn't work as well as keeping it down to 3 to 5 hits, and riding off that high.
Well, the problem is, and see, it all comes down to tolerance, and you have a unique position in a way.
Yeah.
Knight is very thin. He's he's probably about 10 to 15% underweight, whereas I'm about 75 to 80% overweight. I need to lose about another 100 pounds to be where I really want to be. And I'm going to get there because I've lost about 82 pounds in the last 5 months. And another 100 should be no problem, especially with cannabis helping me out. And I got my treadmill all hooked up, and I'm ready to start using that. As a matter of fact, I used it twice last week. I'm going to start videotaping that for my YouTube channel, maybe even Periscope it a little. Let me have another bite of this. But before I get into talking about enjoying a high, let me wrap that story up. Mm-hmm. I must be high a little because my mind is starting to jump from this thought to that thought to this thought to that thought. I got 20 thoughts, but let me finish the thought. Dude, I had about a 300 milligram brownie about a month ago and was one of my biggest regrets in my life, believe it or not, for about an hour.
Wow, dude, you overdid it.
It was an 8-hour experience. The first 2 hours, nothing happened because with edibles, at least for me, my metabolism might be so slow that it takes about 2 hours for the high to kick in. And this is especially important for anyone that's new to the cannabis community and especially new to edibles. You have to keep in mind with edibles, they're not going to work for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe even as many as 3 hours. It depends, again, on an individual's body weight and their metabolism. Again, we are not doctors and we're not pretending to be medical experts, but this is common sense stuff.
Certainly.
Kind of logical. And see, there's no medical research done on this stuff that we know about because marijuana has been so shunned for decades, if not an entire century in America, practically, that research has just been like, no, you're not allowed to do research on illegal shit. Is that kind of the basic summary? You can't do research on it because it's illegal?
That's part of it, yes. What's the deal, Dream Maker? Can I ask the Dream Maker a question real quick?
If he wants.
Hey, Dream Maker, is everything cool?
I believe so.
Okay, do you know about pizza on the way or anything like that?
It has not arrived. But let me mention that a doctor has examined Sammy.
Yes.
And determined that since he's been smoking, he's come down with a severe case of silly.
What's the cure, though? Is there any treatment for that?
Why would you want to
Just keep it up, then. All right, keep it up in the clouds.
Right on.
Be the fool on the hill looking down at the world.
Well, that's exactly where I want to remain. Anyway, but I don't know. But back to the point. I consumed a 300 milligram brownie about 2 months ago, and first 2 hours, nothing. Then for about 2 hours, in heaven. It was awesome. And then things just started getting better and better. And then for about an hour, I felt like an alien in a good way. I felt like a superpower, like I could mind bend the world.
Did you feel like a rubber soul?
Totally.
Did you feel like you're 100 feet tall?
Totally. And
wow.
I felt like I was 1 inch tall and 100 feet tall at the same time. That's how intense of a high it was.
Wow.
And it was so good, but then it kept getting higher and higher, and then I started getting sick.
Did you feel like a hot air balloon just drifting higher and higher?
Well, for a couple hours I did, in a good way. But then I just crashed and the balloon burst, and I suddenly felt like, wow. I felt tired. I felt sick to my stomach. I felt like I had to vomit. And I actually ended up throwing up once. And it helped a lot, and I was so thankful for that.
Well, that's why people throw up. It's more of a solution than a problem.
Right. But see, the weird thing is that I think, and luckily I hate alcohol, and I don't drink alcohol. I never got drunk in high school.
Yeah.
I never got stoned in high school.
Well,
you know what?
I had a different story than all that, but continue.
Yeah, but I get stoned now, but I'll never get drunk now because pot is safe. Pot is healthy to a certain degree. Well, actually, it's a medicine that actually helps your body in a lot of ways. Where I don't know if alcohol actually helps your body at all.
I don't know if it does. I mean, a little bit does.
It helps.
Sipping wine once a night, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think that lowers your cholesterol or increases your blood flow or something. I don't know nothing.
But you know what? Probiotic drinks, which are not quite like beer, but they're fermented.
Like kombucha?
Drinks. Yeah,
kind of
kombucha.
Stuff?
That's my favorite drink.
Cool.
It's just light alcohol almost. I don't know if it's even classified as alcohol, but probiotic drinks are really healthy for you, and that is what I drink every day almost.
Right on. Well, I need to look into that
goes
more.
great with pot, by the way.
Right. You know, the weird thing is I used to swim hours a day in high school and college, and I was always in the sun. I was always riding my bike, and I was always active. And I'd say the last 20 years, I've gotten almost zero sun, and I think that's kind of been a bummer for me in a way because last week I sat in the sun for 1 hour, and I just sat there. I wasn't high. I wasn't trying to get high that day, and the sun made me feel high. Literally, after an hour sitting in the sun, I felt affected by
That's awesome, man.
You know,
well, the sun does give the earth its energy,
right?
I mean, more sunlight hits the earth, like say for a little piece of your roof, in a square foot. More sunlight hits that, and that could power the earth than say the whole oil industry. For several years if we harness that energy correctly.
Right. I was kind of aware of that. I didn't know the specifics. But
yeah, it's not right. It's not quite that efficient yet. It's not fuel efficient yet, but that's the direction they're moving in.
Oh, it'll
solar.
be there.
Yeah.
Less than 10 years for
solar
sure.
cars. Did you see that cute little Honda?
The Honda? Yeah.
That is an awesome little, it's almost like a little VW Rabbit, but smaller than that.
But it won't be available in America at first. That's UK only at first?
That's right. But the goal of Honda is to only make electric cars for Europe by 2025. That's it. 2025, they want to go all electric in Europe. Honda's vehicles that they sell in Europe.
Wow, interesting.
That's pretty awesome.
What do you think that Honda will be available in America? Do you have any idea what it's going to be introduced at? What
I
price
don't know,
level?
and I don't know the price level because Honda is kind of premium brand.
But it looks like it's designed to be a budgety electric car in a way.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a small
it's stripped down to just the basics.
It's a little bigger than a Bug, a VW Bug,
right.
And it's looks like a Honda Civic a little bit, like an old Honda Civic of maybe the 70s,
cool.
maybe. And it's got a really it's probably smaller than a Civic, a little bit smaller.
Okay.
And it looks like a little spaceship, and it's cute, and it's got those dark tinted windows, and it's, I don't know, something I wouldn't mind. But my guess for the price range of that, I don't know, so I shouldn't really say. But the lowest priced EV, electric vehicle I've seen in the research I've done is $18,000 at the moment, unless you're talking about a golf cart.
I see.
So, Tesla just put out they announced a new model, a $39,000 model, but that didn't 3 is the most affordable. That's $35K, but
right.
I still can't afford that.
A lot of people can't, but that doesn't sound outrageous. $35,000 for a Tesla,
and plus,
sounds reasonable.
If you finance it, I think you could get it for $300 a month, maybe around
right.
$250 to $300 a month.
Yeah, and then think about that. If you drove a lot and you could save $150 a month on gas costs,
right,
then it's totally worth that vehicle.
Plus, help the world cut carbon emissions
big time, right?
That is a no-brainer if they could just bring it down to an affordable level for everybody.
Right. Because if we don't jump on that bandwagon immediately in the next decade, this world's already in big trouble.
Yeah, well, I think there's still going to be a world. There might not be people, but I think there'll still be insects and birds. Notice how birds kind of outlasted everybody so far?
Birds and insects, you're right.
Yeah, so
especially cockroaches.
They're well adjusted to change, I think, and they're smarter than us. So just like trees are smarter than us, they're the tallest things on Earth, and they live the longest. So they know more than we do.
If you want to look at it that way, sure.
Yeah, I'm saying that. You know, the forest has a lot of power to it.
Absolutely. I love forests.
So I would never underestimate the power of trees or the purpose. I mean, with the air that we breathe is because of trees. It's green plant life that gives us the oxygen that we breathe.
Right.
So it's magical stuff.
Anyway, well, what are you thinking about for music?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of song do you want to do?
We're going to do a song. Did you finish that whole thing you were going to do? You were going to play a 10-minute bit or something?
No. I was going to play like a 1-minute YouTube clip about police searching. It's news. It's pot news. As a matter of fact, let me play that right now.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
From his hospital bed.
Why are you digging this stuff? I told you where I took it.
Nolan Sousley, battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer, told officers he had just taken a cannabis pill to ease his pain, but did not have any marijuana, which is what they were looking for.
We can just search it and declare that there's no marijuana in it.
I'm not giving you the bag.
Officers told Sousley they received a call about someone smoking marijuana in his room. He recently stopped chemotherapy and is facing end-of-life care.
It has my final day things in there. And nobody's going to dig in it.
I thought they would have a little compassion.
In the room, Sousley told officers voters had just legalized marijuana in Missouri.
They just haven't finished the paperwork.
Okay, well then it's still
But I don't have time to wait for that, man. What would you do?
I'm not in that situation, so I'm not going to play the what-if game.
In a statement, the city says the Boulevard police acted lawfully and are using this as an opportunity to learn, teach, and improve. Citizens Memorial, which is investigating, released a statement apologizing to the family, adding, "Respect is part of our core values, and we fell short of expectations."
He is sitting here fighting for his life, and they knew that.
Back in the room, police didn't find any marijuana. The encounter with a terminally ill patient now igniting a debate over compassion and cannabis. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.
Man, what do you think of that? Isn't that...
Wow. I don't
it's
know.
It's like an end-of-life cancer patient, and they're going in his room all aggressive, and what kind of insanity is that?
I don't think that's cool at all.
Not at all.
I think that
and he didn't have any marijuana in his room in the first place, so it's like, that just breaks my heart that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, where was that again?
You know what? Let me check. You play a little and sing something so there's some voices on the mic.
It's a weird era that we find ourselves in. Trump is our leader and suddenly pot's legal. It's a weird combination. I would rather that pot keep getting more legal, but a better president. You know, I'm not such a picky sucker. I'm someone who just wants to fill in the blank. Never mind.
That's not a good blank to fill in.
Never mind. Okay, that's the song so far. I got to work on it.
Speaking of sucker, you know what the number one song in America is? Of course you do.
I don't. Oh, yeah. It's called Sucker by the Jonas Brothers.
Can you believe that?
I don't believe it, but I guess I do believe it. I saw it with my own eyes looking at Billboard's chart. It's their first record like in 16 years or something like that. And I even listened to it on YouTube. And it, it's not bad. You could tell that it had to be good to bring them back. Of course, it's a name recognition thing now, but it had this really generic, chunky groove to it of a cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, a really cha-cha type sound to it, real chunky, choppy, same old formula we hear in 900 other hits. There was nothing new about it, is what I'm saying. Yet, this is what brings them back. It doesn't matter what it is. It's marketing, you see. It's the name. It's the brand. It's not the music or the quality.
Right. I totally hear you.
You say, if you say the same thing enough times, if people hear the same keywords, the same phrases, over and over and over, they'll start either believing it, like Russia, 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 Russiagate, Russiagate,
or tuning out
Russiagate,
completely.
And then after a while, everything you hear is Russiagate, Russiagate, and you're all, is there any other news going on in the world? No, it's Russiagate, Russiagate, Russiagate.
Right.
And he goes, okay, does that prove Trump's going to get freaking impeached? Yeah, he's going to get impeached next week. Russiagate, Russiagate. And then 2 weeks go by, Trump's still president. So what's the freaking rumor now? Oh, Manafort or whatever the fucking idiot's name is.
Right.
That now faces how many years in prison the rest of his life?
Well, only like 3 or 4, supposedly.
They have to freaking try him again. He has 2 trials. The first trial was 10 years. The second trial was going to be a bunch more.
It's supposed to be 8, according to experts.
Yeah, and right now he's 70 years old?
70-something.
Yeah, he's up there.
73? Okay.
So how is this even an exciting... It's just a normal corporate corruption story, normal corporate government corruption story. Mueller, I'm glad he's prosecuting these idiots, but he's a corrupt, freak himself. He's for torture and all that. I have no dog in that, whatever, how that freaking saying goes.
Right.
I have no dog in that fight. I don't like Trump as far as a candidate, president, and all that. I don't know him personally. I know that the San Diego border thing with TJ, that's no freaking big deal for most of the people I know down here. I don't know why Trump thinks it's a big deal, but I'd love to know more about that.
Right, me too.
And maybe Dreammaker, he goes there all the time. I'd love to know more from him. Is the border safe? I
don't know.
Seems like it is to me. Where we are in North County, I don't hear any problems or trouble.
It's safe on this side for sure.
Yeah,
kinda.
But San Diego is ranked one of the most peaceful cities in America in the latest poll on that.
Are you talking about major cities?
Yeah,
right.
Major cities. It was one of the top peaceful of the top cities.
And it's been that way a long time, off and on.
So how in hell? Why should we be worried about it if the peace? It's a well patrolled border, right? It's hard to get back and forth, right?
Right, and the corruption's going to exist no matter what.
Yeah,
People are going to.
But what I'm saying, it's already well patrolled, right? We've already spent a ton of cash on that, and it's to me, from what I see, it's not a big national emergency like they're trying to make it, like Trump and his gang.
No, the opioid emergency is way more important.
Yeah, right. But let me just freaking throw in 2 more quick points. Mexicans and Central Americans, they're not coming here to cause harm. They're coming here to get away from harm.
Right.
There's a lot of violence down there. They think of America as a peaceful haven to go to. So why can't we be cool about that? That's the question for Trump. And the other point I want to make about this whole border thing is I don't think... I think it's well patrolled, and that the military, this is a huge military town, that they should be able to stop whoever these people are if they needed to, right?
Right.
The military is huge, man. Try to go up against them
especially
and see what happens.
Especially in this area, right.
Yeah, you're not going to get far going up against the U.S. military in San Diego.
At least I hope you wouldn't.
Yeah, so I don't get it. Why is that a national emergency? Oh, it's not. It's just
Trump wants to get the credit for something he thinks
it's more than that. He knows he's from the real estate biz, so he knows all these big contractors that build
these walls.
Yeah,
and he's even if he only gets 0.5%.
So even though Nancy Pelosi is a freaking weirdo, freaking Wall Street witchy type old freak who pretends to be liberal, even though she's a Democrat. She's a Democrat who pretends to be liberal, but she's with Wall Street a lot of times because she herself is a freaking multimillionaire,
right?
Who is bought off by them. But she, I'm proud to say, as an independent who cares.
Hey, Mike. Cool.
Oh, okay. Let me keep talking.
I'm doing a show. Let me. Someone's coming down to let you in right now. Right on.
All right, cool. Sorry, I overtalked that.
That's fine. I'm glad I looked at the phone.
I'm glad we got the pizza coming in now.
Yeah, that's our pizza boy.
Let me wrap it up with her. She actually helped America by blocking Trump's freaking budget. He wanted Congress to pay for that wall, and she blocked it.
Right.
That's one good thing she's done. So I'm happy she's on it, getting things done.
Oh, totally. Well, dude, we only have 5 minutes left.
Are you serious? The show's been...
It just flew.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's like I finished that brownie about 10 minutes ago. I'm not going to get high for a bunch of hours, but I'm going to review it next week here on the show and let you know. But we're going to wrap the show up with some music before we have some pizza here on the wide world of weed. I'm starting to get the munchies, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling groovy. It kind of feels like a movie. You know what I mean, man?
So come to the movie next time. Let's rock and roll. Tell me, baby, you gonna groove with me, 'cause we got so much soul.
Oh, yeah.
And we're gonna get high till the moon shines in our eyes. So that's it, man. That's all I got so far.
No, keep that beat going.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like that groove.
You want to add stuff?
Yeah,
to
I'll
that?
try to make some stuff up. What's the song about again?
It's about getting high, something
okay.
like.
And going to the movies or just anything?
High at the drive-in movies.
Oh, there we go.
With your baby.
Oh, I'm high at the drive-in movies. And baby, I'm feeling so groovies. I got my blunt, I got my pre-roll, I got my joint, I got my rockin' roll. That's pretty lame, but
we're doing it, man. We're changing the world with pot and music.
We're getting high on the air, and that's no Deucic. Remember that song, Deucic?
No, I don't. Oh, yes, I do, by Brick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did Daz.
Daz is brilliant song.
I love that, yeah.
But Deucic was a very forgotten, cool song that you will hear on Groove 420.
That was a cross between disco and music. That's why it was called that.
Right. But Groove 420, we'll play reggae. You know what? Halloran. I want to thank Halloran for introducing me to the song Because I Got High.
Oh, yeah, that's
by
right.
Afro Man.
Right.
I think
Halloran
he was
is the man
one of the
behind...
first to play that in America, possibly. I don't know if that's true or not.
Are they from... Is Afro Man from San Diego?
I don't think so, no. I think he's from Atlanta or something. I don't know where he's from.
Oh, but you got early airplay here, right? Did Afro Man get early airplay in SD?
Yes.
All right.
Because of Halloran.
Because of Halloran, right?
I think so.
You were one of the earliest to add it,
Maybe
right?
the first.
First.
I knew it.
Number one.
Good until September 11th.
That's right. And that changed
but Halloran had a lot of other good bands like Rocket from the Crypt, and we'll have to get into a lot of that later on in some future show.
You know what? We should talk to Halloran and maybe other people and get them to do some shows here on WSRadio.com.
That would be fun.
We'll grow this little San Diego cannabis cool community empire.
Yeah.
Shows about music about social talk, shows about pot, shows about radio, shows about whatever makes you happy. Pizza. Why not a show about pizza?
That's right.
As a matter of fact, we're going to be enjoying pizza in about 5 minutes from now. We're wrapping this show up literally in 1 minute here on WSRadio.com. Any last words, Knight?
Well, I just want to reiterate that I'm happy that things are moving forward in the pot world, like the bill that's going to hopefully make pot legal federally and move it out of Schedule 1.
And when is that supposed to happen if it happens?
The bill has been introduced already by Tulsi Gabbard and a Republican from Alaska. I forget. Oh, his name's Don Young. But, that's a bipartisan bill, so that could go all the way.
I hope it does, man. That'd be the best news of
the year.
The year for sure.
Yes.
And on that positive note, thank you very much for listening to the Wide World of Weed here on WSRadio.com. This is Green Weaver and Night Tripper signing off for now. We'll be back next Saturday for more of the Wide World of Weed. And don't forget our YouTube channel. I'm going to definitely try uploading this video today for the Wild World of Weed so we can get that going. And we'll be back next week with more fun and more high-powered THC Boogie on WSRadio.com. See you then.
Can you imagine a world without children? A world without their smiles or their laughter? A world where children don't play or sing or dream or imagine?
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we can't imagine a world without children. That's why we're working every day to find cures for diseases that strike down children everywhere. Diseases like cancer, pediatric AIDS, and sickle cell. And we won't stop until every child is cured and every disease is defeated. Because we can't imagine a world without children. Can you?
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. To learn how you can help, log on to our website, stjude.org.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
You take your smartphone almost everywhere you go. Now WSRadio.com can be there too. Search WS Radio in the Play Store for your Android devices or iTunes for Apple and download the WS Radio application. WSRadio.com on your phone and in your ear everywhere you go. Download the WS Radio application. Do it now. It's very easy. WSRadio.com.
You were born to do one amazing thing, but most people spend a lifetime trying to identify what it is. If you're in a job you don't like or are unemployed, if you're in a state of transition or just can't shake that nagging feeling that you were meant and made to do something extraordinary, then the Reinvention Workshop is exactly what you need. Led by award-winning self-help author Steve Olsher, the Reinvention Workshop will forever change your life. The Reinvention Workshop takes you step by step through Steve's proven formula that has helped so many people get on the right path and clear about what they were born to do. Take the first step to realizing the life you deserve and desire by visiting the reinventionworkshop.com today. No more delays. No more denial. Reconnect with your true self. Learn to live with purpose and conviction and become who you were born to be. The world is waiting for you. What are you waiting for? Log on to the reinventionworkshop.com today. That's the reinventionworkshop.com.